Hey Stampin' Friends, Darlene with Darling Stamps. So this is our 4th week of Joy of Season, just going over the different ways of making best use of your stamps. And we're going to use the Illuminated Christmas, which is on page 14. And this is the stamp set. And it does have a sample here. And it also has one on the opposite page using the framelit. And these little flowers, which really don't really dictate Christmas, so it kind of gives you some versatility. So let's go ahead and let's get started with our card. So we're going to be using the olive green, and we will make this pretty simple. But what I thought was nice, got some glue there. What I thought was nice about this stamp set is that it really has a lot of the sentiments, which are nice, but it also has the true meaning of Christmas. And I thought that was a great selection to do. So we're going to use our A2 size. I'm going to maximize my layer. So I'm going to cut out some of the inside here before I put it down. And then try to when I do the layers, you can have a choice of doing the 1/4 inch or the 1/8 inch. And I did a 1/4 on the first layer, but then on this one, I did the 1/8. Now, before we put this down, we want to actually do some stamping. Now, I want it, you see on here that this is kind of a tone on tone, and this is the 1/8 inch that I was talking about. It just has a real big, like, little peekaboo on it. So we're just going to use the old olive, and we're going to create our background. And I just realized I thought I had it down on a pad, and I don't. Okay, so let's go through, and we're just going to start from the top. Make sure I got the right way. Start from the top and go all the way down the side. Now, I didn't do the center. This actually, we talked about this before, but casing is where you see a style that someone has done, and you just try to, I don't know, sometimes I use a style from Pinterest, but maybe I don't have all the right elements, so it's not maybe exact. So that is what we have on there, and again, just it's tone on tone. But before I had done any type of gluing down, because this would give me an uneven surface, so I got my edge down, my stamping, and then I'm going to put the layer on, and then we're going to, there we go. Then we're going to just keep layering. Now this, we're going to just do our banner. And it is 2 inches. And I'll put the measurements in the description below. See, I can't see my edge. So you go corner to middle. And corner to middle. And I missed my middle, so hold on. So this is kind of a real quick way if you don't have your banner punch. So it's going to go in the middle right there. And then I thought I would do something a little different, and I'm going to glue this down. This is just our Glimmer paper, and I wanted to put a little bit of interest since I have one without it. I wanted to do one with it. Okay, so that's my, let's make sure I'm straight, holy moly. Okay, so now let's get that cut there and get this down. So all of our pieces are really truly kind of assembling, and get this lined up straight. So the whole point of doing layers is just to make sure that you have not only your shapes out, especially if you're doing production, but you don't want to cover the full surface, so you can see that I still have a lot of that peeking out. And then we're going to layer the Mary Merlot, and this is a scalloped, and that's going to go right on top of there. Then we are going to just kind of rest for a little bit, because we're going to stamp our little men, our little wise men. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to just take the wise men and put that right there. Okay, now I can tell that I did not have enough ink on that, so I have a very sharp marker, and I did this on purpose because I wanted to show you sometimes, especially black, it's almost like you have to put ink on it to refill like every time. Maybe it's just my pad. It might be just my pad. All right. And then we are going to use my blender pins. Now, for the sake of time, I've already gotten one colored. And you can see on this one, see how I have a little mark down there? Oh, I was so frustrated that I did all that coloring, and then I had ink on my hand. So I made the little dots underneath there. But I kind of like the dots. So I did the dots here. All right, so now I want to pop this up. Here's a note. So this is just regular ivory paper, cardstock, and you can see the blender pins because they're alcohol based, they bleed through, which doesn't matter in this case. But if you use the thick cardstock, it does not bleed through and has a stronger base on it. Now I am going to pop this up, so I'm going to use my double-sided tape. I can use dimensionals. If you have dimensionals, you can use those as well. This is just something that I have, there it goes, I have handy, and it gives me the same, it's cost effective, so this would be great for my Thrifty Thursday. Oh, and I want to put my little flowers on here. This is the little poinsettia that's in the Illuminated Christmas stamp. And I have already done the coloring on that because it just takes more time to color that. And I know that I'm not having to show you how to color because that would be silly. You already know that. All right, so I'm going to put one down here, and then I'm going to raise this up and have it kind of pop up a little bit. All right. And then that's going to go right in there, just so it peeks out a bit. And then put another layer of poinsettia. And this will go up here. I don't want to cover my little wise man. And then one more, and then we will call it good. Now, I don't normally, you may or may not, when you do cards, especially if you are in the business and you are selling them, normally the inside is blank. I'll probably put Merry Christmas. Anyhow, you see it did a little different with that Glimmer paper in the middle. So that basically is my wonderful way. Let me show you some extras that I did just to kind of give you some sample. So here is a sample of one that I did. This is just, it doesn't actually have a flap like these do. It actually opens like this. So I just take the A2 card, you cut basically about 2 1/4, do your designer series paper, and then you have your top piece. This is from, the leaves are from the Peaceful Noel. So that's another way we did that last week. And then this is the gold emboss, the kind of matching the outline. And then I'll put my Merry Christmas on the inside. So there's another one. This one was fun. This was basically using the poinsettias as tone on tone, and then using the Star of Light and this really neat galaxy of stars. So you stamp this down first. This is just the same cardstock, and I actually glued a white piece in there. So then when you do your cut, you just stamp in there and then use the glimmer. This is the star that was in the Illuminated Christmas, and I popped that up. There's another card. Then this one was different and kind of fun. So this is using not the color or the blender pens. This is actually using our watercolors and the paper and the ribbon. So anyhow, this is our fun time of the year to make wonderful, interesting kind of cards. And I hope that this is inspirational to you and how you can use your card stamp sets to the max you can. Have a great day. Talk to you next week.